and I'm the president of the Jamaican Association of Social Workers. And today I'm so excited. We have a special guest on the couch, my good friend and colleague, Marie Sparks. Here she is.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Yay. And today we wanted to interview Marie and just get a sense of what she does. And let's see what happens. So, Marie, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited.
And this is great.
This is great. This is great. We work together a lot anyway. And Marie is a psychotherapist. She has her background in Gestalt therapy. So, one of the things I want to ask, and I would love for you to tell our audience, what is the type of therapy that you do? Tell us about it.
All right. Well, Gestalt is the type of therapy that I do. Gestalt is an evolution of Gestalt psychology, added with, Freud and Fritz and Perls, for those behavioral science out there who are following histories. Gestalt basically is, we look at the whole person as a sum of many small parts. And those little Rubik's cubes that you had in the 90s, where all the parts had different, they started off being all uniform, and as you played with them, all the sides began to be multicolored.
Right. I could never get those right.
Right. I mean, some people could really go and get them right, but some of us struggled with getting them back to our uniforms and feeling that feeling of balance and competency. And so that's how Gestalt really sees the human person, as a sum of these many parts. And sometimes as we move through life, some parts become more useful and some parts become more redundant. Some parts strengthen and cause havoc, as well as some parts strengthen and do good in our lives. And some parts begin to, get damaged, deteriorate, and rot, and cause a little problem in the rotting. So Gestalt is really us looking at, being able to look at each individual part, whether good or bad, healthy or unhealthy, and look at its value to the whole. And once we've looked at it and seen how valuable it is, we can reconfigure it in our lives to make life healthy, wholesome, and balanced. So that's what Gestalt really is, quick sum up of what Gestalt is.
So for those people who are skeptical about therapy,
right,
does therapy really work?
Well, I would say this. We know that therapy works. We all know that therapy works. It's too big a field now, and too stated a solution to the human condition to not believe it works. What we have a problem in understanding is, how does it work?
Okay.
And how does it work for me? And I think that's the real underlying question, is how does it actually work? I'm not quite sure. It's a bit, mystified. And how it actually works is you taking time out to look at you as the person of your intention. You need to be looking at yourself and looking at the areas of how you function and how you can improve each particular function. And that's really what therapy allows you to do. It is the place where you're allowed to be self-absorbed, self-determined, and self-focused. And it's good. We view this place as a good, the therapeutic environment, the therapeutic process, as the place to do this. And I think that once we welcome that place of exploration in our lives and see it as healthy, then we know that therapy works for us. Okay. Because if you focus on anything and you're focusing with a solution, you want a solution, you usually come up with a solution, don't you?
Yeah.
Even if it's difficult.
No, you're right. Even if it's difficult. So tell us about your company.
All right. Well, Pure Potential is a company. We are a social interventions company. We do more than just the interaction with the individual to individual therapy. We do all kinds of interventions that's going to help the human being with their personal development issues. So we look at the individual work, or practitioners are from all over the world. And many people say that people are from their practitioners, they're staff from all over the world. But as we can attest right here,
yes,
I'm coming from the UK and I'm of Jamaican parents, and you are coming from the US.
I am.
And we are met with many people who have Jamaica in common, but come from different places in the world. And so our practitioners have a diverse range of healing modalities that they work from, and their primary learning is one of the behavioral sciences, social work, psychology, psychotherapy, guidance and counseling, and they've usually branched off from there to do some work in terms of alternative therapies. And our practitioners are right across the island working in a consultancy basis with us here at Pure Potential.
So tell us, how do you run a therapy company in Jamaica?
Well, how we run a therapy company in Jamaica is really we feel like we're pioneers in terms of the way that we work and in terms of what we offer. Because Jamaica doesn't seem as if it's a tool that they first gravitate towards therapy.
Yeah, people don't usually seek out therapy when they have problems.
No, they don't. So it's a matter of sensitizing. Our company actually sensitizes people to how therapy can work for them, and how other kinds of helping tools such as social work can work for them, how counseling can work for them. And so a lot of our work is sensitization to the actual solutions for human issues. So that said, we work individually. So individual practitioners have a different various client lists depending on what the client walks in through the door, or actually contacts us through the internet or other electronic means. We get a lot of our traffic through internet. So depending on what they're presenting, it's that determines who works with them in the company.
Okay.
So we might have persons working with issues of excelling professionally. We look to our coach.
Okay.
And we link the coach with the person who wants to exceed on a professional basis. Persons might have medical issues and they want an alternative to dealing with their body issues in a medical way. So we look at our holistic practitioners, we look at our herbalists.
Oh wow.
We'll be talking to our yoga practitioners, we'll be looking at alternative therapies such as breath work and transformational breathing. So we look that way if the client is bringing those issues.
Okay.
All right.
So my question now, because you're talking about sometimes you have individual clients, sometimes maybe you work with groups as well.
Sometimes we work with groups.
So how do you really get funding? Like, would I have to pay out of my pocket? Do you have some international funding? How do you function?
Well, yes, you do. It's a service that individual persons pay for. So individual persons would see that they have a need in a particular area, and they would recognize, hang on a minute, I can't do this by myself. I need support, and I need this support to be professional support. I need it to be quality support. I need to know that I'm going to be putting my life in the hands of persons who can actually do the work that I need to be done. And so therefore that service needs to be paid for. And persons generally accept that when they've got an issue that they are, that's impacting them, that they're going to have to do something
to pay or contribute in some way.
I
actually want to talk about this just a little more, because I think in this environment where we are, people aren't used to paying for what they consider as advice or help. They'll talk to a pastor, or they'll talk to a friend, or maybe they figure they'll work it out themselves. But what Pure Potential is doing is really asking people to value their personal health and emotional well-being, and to put your money where that value is. Isn't that right?
That's right. That's right. That is right. And even what I would say is, there are many things that we attempt to do ourselves, and it's really the value you place on that thing that you're attempting to do yourself. So I might try and grow a rose garden for my own benefit, However, if I've got a business place in the middle of New Kingston and I want the business place to look good, I'm going to get a landscaper in to do that garden.
Exactly.
So, as I was saying, if you have, if you have your own rose garden, or you want a rose garden, you'll be prepared to go out there and put your roses in, and pick up roses from anywhere, and just hope for the best, and you get a rose garden. However, if you've got a business in the middle of New Kingston and you've got a piece of land in front of it and you want it to complement your business, you're going to get a landscaper. Right. Because you want that to reflect your best possible image.
So you're going to hire an expert to do that for you.
You're going to hire an expert to do that for you. And if you value, your mental health and your health in general, you're going to have the best people to work with you on yourself. And so that's the difference. That's the difference in terms of valuing a service that propels you to be your best possible self. And so that's where the cost factor, that's how I ask people to think about the cost factor for themselves. How much are you worth?
That's a great perspective to have, I think. And one that really allows people to think about, I am worth, more, or maybe they haven't thought about it in that way before. So they're able to kind of conceptualize a value and place it on themselves. So I think that's a great way.
I mean, we do that with all aspects of our life.
Yeah.
We pay for our degrees. We pay for the maintenance of our BMWs.
Right.
We pay for the maintenance of our car, of our houses.
Right. Exactly.
Right? So who is fueling all that?
Right.
Us.
Yeah. That's right. That's great. So I would imagine though that in your work you probably see a lot of females.
Yes.
But there probably is a great need for men to do some work on themselves as well. Men don't really like to share and talk, and a lot of times that is a big source of frustration in relationships and in work and things like that. What would you say to that?
I would say, well, the truth is we do get a lot of women. And women who work on themselves work on their men, right? So when you change yourself and you start to develop yourself, you find that your environment doesn't fit the new person that you've become. And so those things that you value in your current environment, you try and upgrade, right?
Well, yeah, that's true. That's good. Yeah,
you try and upgrade.
Right.
So too will if you're having a challenge with yourself about something and it impacts on your partner, you're going to speak to your partner about it. And what's best for you to do is use the things that allows him to go with you. Don't use the things that cause him to move away from the process. Don't scare him into talking. Find different ways of communicating with the man in your life. Be it your brother, your husband, your father, your son.
And therapy can help do this?
And therapy, you having therapy with how their behavior impacts you helps them.
Oh, okay.
Because you can be, when you're different, they have to find a different way of being with you. And that causes them to have to do some work because they're not being able to contact you in the same way. The other thing that we can do for our men is, stuff for them to read and absorb as opposed to talk. Things for them to watch and listen and learn as opposed to talk. Not making them feel too vulnerable. Okay? And when it comes to men who are, on the other end of some of our more challenging societal issues, we're beginning to see men coming into the therapy room even.
Really?
We are beginning to.
That's progress.
We're beginning to get men phoning us to deal with the challenges in their life, especially if it's something to do with, that challenge is causing them to lose that woman in their life. We're beginning to see those men in our therapy room. We're beginning to see men in the therapy room if the situation in their life is challenging their progress professionally or their progress in other ways. All Jamaican men want to succeed, and what they're beginning to use are the tools that are around them to do that. And therapy is one of the tools that they're drawing for. But I would say to us as practitioners, we need to make ourselves, our services accessible to them. We need to do that.
I would agree with you on that. So let me ask you a question. What evidence do you have that therapy actually works? Like if I wanted to try to convince someone to try therapy, is there something that I could say to them, or do you have any statistics or any evidence that it actually works?
Well, this is one of the questions that I actually love answering, because there's so much evidence that it's working. There's so many. I mean, this is the thing that keeps me going. My individual clients, I've got some individual clients who are just, been with me for 6 weeks. Some individual clients who've been with me for a year. Some clients, although they've left the therapeutic process, they are so connected to the process of the therapy that they had, impacting their life in a positive way. I'll get a phone call, Miss Sparks, I'm engaged, and that sounds like a normal everyday life situation. But if it's Miss Sparks, I'm engaged after experiencing sexual abuse, rape, violence in their childhood, for them to pick up the phone and say to me, I'm engaged, generally what they're saying to me is, I've overcome a great hurdle and I'm feeling like I can be in life.
Right, and I can trust someone again, and I can...
And I can afford to be vulnerable enough to love. I get phone calls to say, Miss Sparks, I've overcome certain obstacles and I'm traveling to another part of the world to, start a new life, and I'm strong enough to do that because of the work that we've done. And by the way, can you still keep in contact with me? Can we still, can I still have a little input in case things get challenging? And fortunately, because of Skype and the movements in technology, I can actually now be still connected to clients who lives are working well for them, and they just want maintenance, as opposed to initially when clients come, it's usually some traumatic issue. So we're seeing both sides. We're seeing pre-trauma, and we're seeing people surviving and thriving and living their dreams even. Living their dreams.
I love that.
I feel happy and honored to be part of that.
I can feel your passion. I see this is something you really love, and I know anyway that this is your passion. So. But last thing, you mentioned technology. Do you offer therapy online, or is that something that someone could access? What if I'm, not in Jamaica or not where you are? I know you have a beautiful therapeutic space, but I just need to, work through this issue now or in a short time. Do you do anything?
Definitely do. Okay. We are at the moment, we have clients in the British Virgin Islands.
Okay.
We've got a new client in Japan.
Wow.
We have supervision clients because we also supervise other practitioners who work in the field. We have persons in the UK, and they're part of our regular working client group. So I'm pleased to be able to say that
you're international, girl.
We're international.
Yay! So, if people wanted to get in touch with you, can you give them your information now?
Wow,
here we go.
Well,
shameless plug.
Shameless plug. You can reach me directly on 476-1724.
Oh wait, the area code, if you're not in Jamaica, is 876. 876-476-4624. 1724.
All right. Okay. So that's the number you can get directly through to me. Don't ring right now. And then you can reach us at purepotential.yola site, and that's our website. Purepotential.yola. YOLASITE. You can find our website and see what we've been up to and what we're going to be up to.
.com.
And also, if you want to write me a discreet something, let me know your situation, write to me directly on purepotential@live.com, and you can get straight through to us, and we're going to begin helping you immediately. That's one of the things that we love to do, get on it immediately. So don't be there with a problem, call us.
That's right. Therapy is a gift you give to yourself. That's right. Marie, thank you so much. This has been great. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you like this video, be sure to share it. Like us on Facebook, and make sure you come back next time on Jasw TV. Thanks. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.